Hey guys, what's up? So, evening thoughts, or should I say early morning thoughts? It's about 3 a.m., 4 a.m., I'm not sure really which, but I worked late, so I'm up late. It's usually how it goes when you work late, like me. So, um, yeah, I wanted to share some of my thoughts about what I consider um, the main thing that I didn't know to look for, which was the transgendering amongst entire units of families who I think consider themselves bloodline to King James. But I don't have the evidence to back that up yet, so that's just what my thinking is from what I've watched lately. Well, just a moment ago. I watched about 3 or 4 videos, and um, I wanted to talk about one of them that I actually watched like maybe a week or so ago, which is about Billy Graham and his family of basically all of the family members have been misgendered. So, and this is from birth, probably since from conception, whether that be natural conception or conception through man-made purposes like test tube children, which there's nothing wrong with, but that's just what you would probably have to do, I would assume, if you weren't going to do it naturally. So, yeah, but that's not the point. The point is that they've decided beforehand, before this child even exists, that they are going to, or thought about, they're going to transition them because it is part of the family's heritage, because they are bloodline, they are royal, just like how you hear about, um, back in whatever year, long time before we were here, how they would have defects with their blood. Like, there was a disease where your blood can't clot. Therefore, it makes it easier for you to bleed out and die. That was one of the side effects of this inbreeding process, which, if you look at pictures of these people, these family lines, the parents look awfully similar to each other, which would make sense if you're thinking about like the whole scenario of Adam and Eve and their children, and how it doesn't make sense in our minds. Where did all these kids come from? Or are you saying that everybody's inbred? I know that was a big thing amongst um, people like myself who don't really know what their position is. I mean, I consider myself an atheist, but that is my own. I'm still struggling with that. So, yeah, I'm not going to say that I'm one thing or anything, but I lean more towards being an atheist. That's just what makes sense to me. But either way, moving on. Yeah, so if we look at stuff like that and we say, well, people say that that's inbreeding, people who have problems with uh, the way that the Bible has been put together. I'll just say it like that. So, Billy Graham, preacher, obviously, extremely well known. Uh, Billy Graham Crusades, I think they were called. Basically, you just try and convert people to your religion and have them see the right way of going about things, or God's chosen plan of way things are supposed to go. These people think they're God, so it's really their way. they think this is their teachings. Little tad bit I did learn about from someone named, her name is Lori. She does videos. It's where I learned about this whole transgender plan, I wouldn't say movement. Um, it's more of a plan, I think. But that the publishers who own the Bible, the rights to the Bible, also are published or owned um, the Bible for the Church of Satan. So it's almost as if they're controlling both sides, which makes sense for me because that's how I think of it when it comes to politics. Both sides are being controlled by the same entity. So that's where I correlate that to. But the point of the bloodlines is that they try to extend, just like the way both our veins do in our bodies, okay? So they're going to try and go everywhere, even to small towns like mine, where we don't have over 100,000 people. I think last time I checked the little population sign over there by the end of where I live, the end of the county, said 66,000, I think. So I think we're up to about 69, 68, 70,000. I don't know, somewhere in that range. Either way, that's not a ton of people. That's not a million people, so it's not even 100,000, we're pennies. So Billy Graham, it's from what I remember, is the family lines go to Joel Osteen. Joel Osteen's a pretty well-known name. So if we think about his family and how they're part of the bloodlines, and they do the transgendering, more than likely inbreeding type of practices, rituals, that kind of thing, that's going to extend down to Victoria because of the fact that we have Faith Family Church run by Joel Osteen's sister. So, yeah, that was hard for me. That was really hard for me to think about when I was watching that Billy Graham video. Very hard for me to think about. I've gone to that church more than once. I don't like it. I didn't say I liked it. I didn't like it then nor now. I once had a panic attack and had to leave because there were guards, cops, basically being very forceful with people at the front. You better move your ass along or else we'll make you move along. Because that's how many people. It was like a rave inside. I had a panic attack. Straight up had a panic attack. Had to leave. It was just an anxiety attack. I don't want to over amplify it. It was probably just an anxiety attack. But either way, I felt like I couldn't breathe. Felt like I couldn't function. I just had to get out of there. It was terrible. But besides the point, personal experience. Let's not let it cloud the main subject here, which is that more than likely Jim and Tamara Graff are transgendered individuals who were born into transgendered families. I've been doing just a slight bit of research into at least what they look like as terms of basic feminine, masculine appearance. So that alone, obviously, it's usually easier to tell with the female, the male that's transitioned into a female. I don't want to make it seem like I'm bashing anybody because that's not what I feel that it deserves. If anything, I feel like these people are victims just the same as the way we're victims, being lied to, being deceived by it. I feel very passionate about it. It makes me a little angry. So if I come across a little angry or a little bashy or whatever you want to call it, I don't want to come across that way. So I will try and keep my anger and my mainly my anger in check because it's terrible feeling knowing that you've been deceived like this. So yeah, I've been to that church in the past, but it is easier to see that, and I'm pretty sure I don't know how close I came to either one of them. I don't remember being close to them. The church is really large, so it was never like I was face to face with them. But yeah, I do feel that they are, just from looking at even just photos of them. I read a small excerpt from one of Jim's book. I don't know if he's wrote more than one, but one of his books where he talked about kind of how he started and how he was offered a large congregational church in Dallas or somewhere in that area but he turned it down because he didn't want to be in a big church and he wanted to keep it small town and how small town homes build America and yada, yada, yada. So obviously he had his own plan for what he wanted to do. But, and I know what you're saying. He's so tall. He's so this. He's so that. You know, he's the beacon of Victoria. I don't know what people say. I don't know. Okay. All I know is that, you know, I had a pretty terrible time every time I experienced any type of thing there. I mean, I'm sure there were points where I was like, okay, this is okay. But I'm sorry, but as a kid, I've always been defiant of going to church. Ever since I can remember. Ever since I can remember. I've just always had very emotionally charged experiences and not in good ways. So, moving on from my own personal beef, I guess you could say. But that's not just that church either. So it's other churches too. But don't let that stand in the way of, I don't let it stand in the way of what I'm trying to, I don't want to say accomplish, or kind of accomplish here in getting to the truth. Like, that's all I ever have wanted. That's all I would like to have is just the truth. I understand that the truth is hard to handle. Truth about yourself is hard to handle. Okay, that's very, I mean, I'm sure everybody knows that, but truth about yourself is very hard to handle, especially for, you know, people who have, whew, there's just some people, we'll just say it's just some people, okay? A group of people who, you know, have more issues than the normal person. But yeah, yeah, that's really all I wanted to say was that that's what I think, is that we have them being descendants of possible bloodlines, in our hometown, in my hometown, and that there's probably other things that I'm not seeing just yet. I know that there is a street called Mason Circle. There is a cemetery in Weimar, I believe, Weimar, Texas, Masonic Cemetery. I'll post more about that. Yeah. I'm going to wrap this up before it gets too long because my memory sucks on this phone right now. I got a new phone. Um, I like it. I like it a lot. It's a cheap phone, but I don't care. I guess the memory was bad on it. Again, I don't care. I'm still going to do this until I can do better, get better technology. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. So if you go to that church, and then I'm really sorry because I don't mean to offend you. I don't. I really just care about you. And I care about people learning true things, even if you don't believe it from me, okay? You don't know me. I get that. You probably don't know me, but whatever. If you do know me, then you know me. um, you know how I am. I tend to pick and dig and just dig and dig and dig and just I'm very persistent. I can't help it, but this is what's come across. This stupid thing's coming off. This is what's come across my radar, so that's what I'm looking at. That's just how it goes, and I'm sorry if that's alarming for you, or you can't, you know, put two and two together, or you think that I'm homophobic or transphobic. I'm sorry, but I'm not at all. If you know me, then you know there's no possible way